Blog Talk Radio.
Welcome to Women Who Rock with Success, which is an award-winning show for professional women. We profile a collective of amazing women who are thriving to build their brand. Women are handpicked in various fields who can provide credible information to build your business and lifestyle. We are live each Thursday at 9 a.m. Central Time, followed by our latest brand, Women Who Rock Investigates. To learn more about us, go to our website at www.womenwhorockwithsuccess.com. Now, let's join our podcast host in the studio, Mrs. Diane Winbush.
Hey, good morning and welcome to the show today. This is your host, Miss Diane Winbush. Just in the South, it's a little chilly, a little trying to rain a little bit, but we are ready to get into our Thursday's podcast on today. And so on today, we have a guest that's in the studio. He's going to tell us a little bit about himself, tell us a little about his brand, and we're going to jump into the meat and potatoes of his career. And so good morning and welcome.
Hey, good morning. Thank you for having me.
Great, fantastic. So we're going to get started. Tell us a little bit about you. Tell us a little bit about how you got started and what kind of compelled you to be able to thrive into your career, into your brand. And so this kind of helps the audience a little bit to kind of loosen up with what you did before, and also up to what you're doing as of now.
Okay.
Okay.
So. Are we ready?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, so my name's Korey Shaffer, founder of Til Valhalla Project, and Til Valhalla Project is a clothing brand in which we take the proceeds and we make memorial plaques for the families of fallen heroes, and we anonymously deliver them all across the United States. So by buying our apparel, and we make these memorials, we reach out to past existing customers and we ask them to help us find fallen heroes and deliver these plaques. So it's one of these things that actually, has not been around for that long, despite the massive growth that we had. But, it started about 4 years ago, 2017, after I had gotten out of the Marine Corps. And it kind of manifested after I had lost several of my guys to suicide after we got back from Afghanistan. It kind of became a coping mechanism for me, making memorial plaques. So the plaques came first, and I started making memorial plaques, and I needed to find a way to get them to, these heroes' families. And after delivering my first one, it really became something that I wanted to do full time. And in order to find a way to fund that mission, I created a clothing brand to make it happen.
Okay, great. Okay, and so fashion is in, no matter what season it is, but it appears that you have a cause as to the reason why that you're, have this clothing line and what have you. So what are some of the types of audience or people that you kind of serve with your clothing? Is it for women or for men or for both? So tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, absolutely. So most of our products are graphic tees, so it's not, it's less about, cuts and colors. It's more about what does the T-shirt say, what is the messaging on the T-shirt. So the people who we're really talking to, for the most part, are people who are either veterans or military, or so military veterans, law enforcement, first responders, and people who support individuals like those, like people who support our heroes. So a lot of patriots, a lot of veterans. That's really who our message resonates with, because we're talking about how we never want to forget the name of our fallen heroes, and that by saying their name, we're preserving their legacies. And that message really resonates with people who have a lot of either military experience personally, or they come from military style families. And that's really where the products resonate, because a lot of our T-shirts are very selfless. So, like a message on our T-shirt would be like, like one of my T-shirts says, "Do not give in to the war within, end veteran suicide." So, the T-shirt is not for the individual wearing it. The T-shirt is in the hopes that we're going to walk past a veteran one day and they're going to see it and they are, going to continue with life versus ending it. And our T-shirts have made impacts like that, continuously over the past couple of years. Like our shirts will say, "Hey, stay with us. Don't leave us. Like, we want to work with you. We want to be friendly. Hey, I'm here to talk to you." So it really promotes a lot of mental health. And by promoting mental health, it keeps heroes from ending up on plaques in the first place.
Okay, great. So, of course, for the last 20 years, we've been, dealing with the war in Afghanistan and what have you, speaking of veterans. And so how has that kind of impacted you even the more? There were a lot of discrepancies that was done. Don't want to make the podcast or the segment out of a political issue, but a lot of the Afghanistans, the POWs, or not prison of wars, but individuals kind of are stuck over there now, and then some of them has came back. And so how has your organization been a big, huge support for those guys that were finally released after all of those years? That's a lot of time to be away from family and what have you. And let's put a pin in that. And how has this been able to help? Talking about your organization, the mental process, because just think about it. We're on two different time scales, the United States as well as Afghanistan, and so the people have to come back. I'm pretty sure they wasn't over there for the full 20 years. I know they furloughs to be able to come back home and what have you, but I'm pretty sure that's a mental a strain as well on both sides of the family, those that are here in America as well as those that are the soldiers and veterans that came out of Afghanistan. So we want to talk about that a little bit and things, because this is one pet peeve of mine. And I'm not trying to make it out of a religious segment either, but, that's who I pray for the most is the veterans. Sometimes we overlook the small things, people that we don't see every day. And so we want to talk about that a little bit and how your organization has been an impact even for those that are still returning, from Afghanistan.
Yeah, absolutely. And just like you said, it's nothing political about it, but at the end of the day, the withdrawal hurt. It hurt a lot of us. I mean, it hurt a lot of our guys. Like, we remember going over there and fighting for, this land, like willing to give up our lives. And, many of us, many people giving up their lives, to recapture land and to push forward and to regain control of the area, just for all of that to go away so fast. And I will say, I made a post about it, and I said, listen, I'm the one who sits there and promotes mental health all day. And, at the end of the day, as the person who does like to promote mental health, I knew that mine was struggling when we withdrew. So I was letting everybody know that they need to look out for their veterans, because I expected veteran suicide to go up, dramatically because of that. It's, at the end of the day, is you never really leave Afghanistan. You just kind of learn how to kind of cope with it on a daily basis, and it's always going to be a huge part of a lot of veterans' lives. And as you were kind of saying, it's at the end of the day, it's out of sight, out of mind. Afghanistan has been mostly out of media for better half of almost a decade now. And everyone's just kind of forgotten about it. And despite people over there getting hurt, despite people going over there fighting, it's really just been the forgotten war, so to speak. And we as veterans, we don't like knowing that there's people over there fighting if we can't be there. So I know a lot of vets wanted to go back over there. We all wanted to fight. We all wanted to go back there and just kind of recoup and get it together. And the fact that we withdrew and then we lost 13 heroes, young heroes, people that didn't seem to have experience. It's like they were on their first deployment and, killed by a suicide bomber. It's really just, it hits every veteran really, really, really hard when stuff like that happens, because, we knew if we were there, we would be able to help in some way, shape, or form. We'd be able to shed expertise. So I think every veteran, from every war, I think was really hit with that, with the reality of us pulling out, and the reality of, the people we think of who are no longer here, of them basically dying in vain. And it doesn't sit well. So as far as what Til Valhalla Project did, Til Valhalla Project, I think it's okay to talk about it now, but we ended up making memorial plaques for all 13 of those heroes, and they're still actively being delivered to those families by surprise. And so, instantly, as soon as those heroes passed, they became a huge part of our everyday operation. We were figuring out how to get, we were contacting the Marine Corps, trying to figure out how to get the information for the families, and we were actively building the memorials before we even knew where they were going. And basically our world stood still. And, so my team started working on the fallen hero aspect of it, and I started working on the veteran aspect of it, like based off of our feelings. And, so I had to hurry up and get a T-shirt out that was going to help people deal with the reality of the situation, versus thinking of some of the other brands and the other companies saying, like, oh, what was it for? It was for nothing, and, me coming out saying, like, listen, we went over there for a chance for peace. It wasn't about winning. It was about a chance to give people a better life, and we did the best that we could at it. And, and for that, we'll proudly risk it all, and we would do it again, and like that was the angle that Til Valhalla Project approached. And we had a very positive response of veterans saying, like, from that angle, I don't feel as bad. And I think that personally, whether it had direct relation or an indirect relation, I mean, at some point that T-shirt is going to make a veteran think twice, and it's going to save a life if it hasn't already. So it's like, that's how we approached it. We approached it with honoring our fallen heroes, the ones who lost their lives over there, and then we wanted to hurry up and promote a positive message for the veterans on our side with our apparel.
Absolutely, because that was going to be the next question. I think you may have already partially answered it as to even how the families are impacted. It was very devastating to hear about the 13, but the most empowering thing that I did hear in regards to the 13 that passed away, some of their parents had delivered a very, very powerful message, saying that, their children or their sons, this is what they live for, this is what they would, die for their country and what have you. And I feel that once an individual understands that what their purpose and their mission is, joining the military and what have you, I think that they can, they are already, I guess, a winner, whether they, come back or whether they don't come back. And so that's another question that I would like to, bring to the audience, to you from your project, not just with the 13, but how has this impacted families, your organization, when you can just present them? Sometimes a family member don't need any money. Sometimes a plaque or a T-shirt that which you provide for so many can be somewhat of a blessing in disguise, and it can be able to uplift families all over the country. So that would be would be the next question that I would like to ask, and things. How has this even impacted other people's families and their children? We leave the children out as well and stuff. How has this impacted them?
Yeah, absolutely. So, it makes a lot of families understand, especially, from the heroes that were over there who didn't get hurt. I mean, instantly when it happened, I had an old I had a lieutenant over there who had recently got promoted to captain. Like, he was my generation, and he was over there when it happened. So, I mean, including like almost every family in America who had a relation to a hero over there panicked when we figured out what happened. And you know, I think that for a lot of families, it was a very bittersweet moment to realize that, you know, when we finally did hear the names of those heroes that we lost, you know, they had like a bittersweet moment of like, oh, my kid is okay, but 13 other families, their kid is not. And I know that affected a lot of families mentally, and because, of course, it's a relief, but it's like the worst relief ever. It's very odd to deal with that. So I think it's affected a lot of families' mental health as far as like indirectly from the 13 heroes. And then for the 13 heroes family, I mean, there is no making it better. And of course, you know, every veteran usually goes over there knowing what they want to do, and you know, they're willing to lay down their life for us, and that's what, you know, that's extremely commendable. But for the families, it's still, most families never think it'll end up happening to them, and you know, we all hope that they're right. And with these plaques, like, just like you're saying, like, money's short-lived, right? You know, if you can give every family $100,000, I mean, what does that do? I mean, it depreciates in value. You know, it buys less and less every year, and you know, and a lot of people wouldn't know how to make that $100,000 really do something, you know, majorly, I guess, crazy beneficial. I mean, it'll help them out of a, you know, short-term financial crisis, but at the same time, you know, as long as their you know, funeral costs and all that stuff is being taken care of, which there's so many places out there that take care of that stuff. For me, a plaque is priceless, and the peace of mind knowing that their fallen hero is going to be remembered even after they pass away is the priceless thing. You can't buy it physically. You can't even buy it from us. Like, you cannot purchase plaques. So they can only be given. They can never be bought. So for us, we do more than the plaque. We make them their memorial plaque package. We make them custom metal wristbands that have their names etched into them, and then we also promote them on our digital wall at Heroes, and that has continuous advertisements that run to it to get people from all over the world to recognize these heroes. And that's something that will never stop running, even after I'm long gone, and after, you know, just after everything. As long as there's advertising still around, our goal is to continue to have them. So, you know, a couple 100 years from now, I'm sure advertisements will still be there, and, you know, they'll still be getting promoted in some way, shape, or form. And that to me is the most beneficial part. That, like I said, money really can't buy it, and money can't buy the peace of mind knowing that their hero is going to live on. And that to me is why the plaques are so important. And it's you know, because obviously we've made these plaques for heroes who have passed recently, but we also make plaques for heroes who passed away 20 years ago in Afghanistan, and we go up to their family, you know, today, and we will drop off a plaque. We don't even let them know, like, they don't even know who dropped it off. They don't even know where it came from. Like, you know, it just shows up on their doorstep, and they have no idea where it came from. I mean, imagine losing a hero in Iraq in 2002 or 2004, and thinking that the world's forgotten about them, and then we come up out of nowhere, drop a memorial plaque on their doorstep, render a salute, drive away, and then they come home from work one day and it's just sitting there, and they go, where did this thing come from? And that to us is like, that's what we're doing every single day.
That is so awesome. That is awesome, because even after the veteran has passed away or what have you, as you stated, 2002, 2003, 2004, and what have you, and then for that parent to come home, or that loved one, that wife or that child to come home and be able to still know that someone is concerned, someone still cares about me, someone did put my husband's name down, or put my wife's name down, or what have you,
right.
In their portfolio. That is very, very encouraging. It's very encouraging. So even for the project, what are some of the long-term goals that you would like to achieve? I know that you're doing the T-shirt campaign, and I know that you're doing the plaque campaign, which are two awesome, priceless tools that you could be able to give to any veteran or any family member that has lost a loved one. So what are some of the long-term goals that you would like to see for the project so it can continue to even advance? We have how things they continue to grow. They have brand extensions.
Absolutely.
Just like we have Dawn dishwashing detergent, and then now you have it where you can be able to spray it, and then the oil or grease or whatever the food content will come straight off the pan or what have you. So what are some of the things? People continue to extend their product. They continue to extend their brand. What are some of the long-term goals that you would like? Because this is very, very interesting, a lot of times, okay, so I receive veteran package as well. And then, of course, we have always been a support to different projects, financially and what have you. But sometimes you just want to reach out and touch the person besides just, putting money into a organization. Right. But with that being said, what are some of the long-term goals that you would love for the project to be able to achieve for more veterans, for more family members, or even for the children, where they can sit back maybe 15, 20 years from now and say, you know what, someone still has my father's name somewhere written down?
Yeah, absolutely. And the goals here, they're pretty large, and most of it has to revolve around how many plaques we want to get out per month. So right now we get about 64 plaques out per month. That's grown exponentially. So almost every year we double our monthly output. But the short-term goal is over 1,000 plaques a month. And my main goal for the company is we can honor every hero. We want to honor every single hero who's fallen by every manner. So every person who's ever served, whether it was a car accident, a heart attack, old age, overseas, training accident, we want to honor every single hero without, so it would be great to create some sort of, it would be great for that to happen. We would need to secure some sort of arrangement or agreement with some sort of agency that would help us obtain that information quickly. I would love for that to be, so common for us to be able to get that information. Because right now we have to reverse engineer. My philosophy to my team is, hey, build the plaque first, find out where it goes second. Because we never want to have a chance to, to pass up a hero or something like that out of convenience. For us, it's like, okay, well, this hero has all the information and this hero doesn't. We never want to put that other hero on the back burner. We want to find its home. So, we always make the plaques first, and then we find where it goes second. So it would really help our strategy in the long term as far as expansion goes and massive levels, and getting it on every, getting a memorial plaque on the doorstep of every fallen hero family across the United States. I think that's the route we would have to go there. Also, expanding more globally, and not even just honoring the United States. I mean, you got Canada, you got the UK, you got so many places that are that helped fight the war at some point, or who are involved in it and who gave their lives too. It's like, okay, well, Americans aren't the only one over there treading ground and losing their lives. There's so many other people, and I think that they deserve recognition too. And of course, the guys that I knew, they were Americans, but that's not everybody's reality. So I would love to expand this more globally to the point where, if people are fighting if people are fighting a war, especially like an allied war, I would love to go and expand the mission over to each version. So imagine like a Til Valhalla Project UK or something like that, like where we can break it up into larger pieces that can serve, greater areas. So that's that mission there. And as far as products go, I mean, we are expanding products at a rapid rate. I mean, we got roughly 70 employees right now, and they're running our clothing, they're running our CNC machines, our laser engraving, our cups. We're doing a lot of product expansion because we want people to just be able to support us in any way that they can. So some people don't like buying T-shirts online, but you can buy a coffee mug, or you can buy a steel piece, or you can, even if it's a sticker. Like, so we're just expanding the product line there, but in general, my goal is I want to be in the next year. I want to be sitting at about 100,000 square foot facility, getting about 1,000 plaques out per month, and roughly around 300 or 350 employees.
Okay, great. So even though, let's see, how can I put this question? We want to talk about, just for a few minutes, about the 9/11 effect and your project as well. And I know that a lot of the individuals were not military or veterans, but I know that some were, military and veterans, especially, with the Pentagon as well. So how did it affect us? Yeah, how did that affect you? And then how would you, I guess, try to, because we continue to come up on these anniversaries every year, and it's still a huge impact. You can't watch the 9/11 on television and not shed tears. It's still a huge impact, just like it happened yesterday. So is that something that your project would like to get into? We'll just start with the Pentagon. We'll just put the Twin Towers aside, not trying to say that we don't care anything about those that were lost in the Twin Towers. But I'm talking about as far as since you're on the military end of this perspective, what about we're going to say about the Pentagon and what have you, and how your organization could perhaps maybe resonate with that even as well, because I know that you deal with just one-on-one veterans and what have you, but that's just something that kind of struck me just a second ago, and thinks about those that were lost with the 9/11, which we know that's over 2,000 of people that perished in those events. But on the Pentagon side and what have you, how did that impact you as a veteran yourself? And how could that be able to help you to be able to, bring more to those that were on the Pentagon side with your organization, as to be able to help them as well?
So one thing to consider, 9/11, for me, I was in third grade. So and so I mean, but at the end of the day, I know, right? So I was in the third grade when 9/11 happened, but it's also the core of everything that this mission was built off of. Like, you got to understand that I would never be in the military today if 9/11 never happened. I would have never built, such an amazing, friends and brothers. I would never have built and been in this amazing brotherhood. I would never be where I'm at today if 9/11 never happened. Obviously, it's not a good thing, right? But at the same thing, it's the only reason why this mission exists, and it's the only reason why, I'm here today. I helped fight in the war that I saw on TV in third grade. It's one of those things where it's you kind of grow up watching it on TV, and then one day you're on the yellow footprints waiting to go in and go battle the same thing, and it's really crazy. And I think a lot of us knew that when we went in there and we joined the military, like we knew 9/11 was the core reason, and we knew that the war was going on really, really long. And so every time 9/11 comes around for us, we all get hit with the reminder of dude, this is the same thing we were watching when we were kids, and now we're burying our friends over it. It's really, I think it means a lot I won't say a lot more, but I think it means, I think it's a different perspective for people like us and for like our age as far as like, you know, the politics and everything that got involved with it. You know, I don't know, it kind of became our childhood. You know, some people have childhood movies that they remember forever. It's like we have childhood events that we came back and we got, you know, we stood up to go kind of relive a lot of those experiences. And it's a really bittersweet thing to see, you know, us losing heroes and whatnot who were watching on TV. So I don't know, it's weird for us. So, but for 9/11, there was a couple of years ago when Til Valhalla project was first starting, I wanted to donate. So if I create like a T-shirt that's like 9/11 oriented and stuff like that, like my goal is usually to like donate something, or same thing like breast cancer. Like, you know, I did a breast cancer T-shirt last year and I was able to donate $10,000 off it, which was really cool.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yesterday we just cut out our check. We donated $1,023,927. So towards reducing veteran suicide, paying for vets therapy. So we just hit our $1 million goal, you know, for doing stuff like that. So I mean, and a lot of our T-shirts that we sell, a lot of our products are related towards, you know, reducing veteran suicide. So, but back to the 9/11. So when I was faced with coming up with a 9/11 T-shirt, when it started coming around and, you know, focusing it around the Twin Towers and the Pentagon, it was very difficult to find a place to donate the proceeds because there was a lot of politics involved in it, and it was very, very hard for us. So I kind of created this little tradition that we still carry to today, and that is, you know, normally our T-shirts are $25 or so, and I ended up making, you know, this beautiful T-shirt and selling it for only $9.11, and it's not profitable at all. It's not profitable at all, but it's our contribution to the nation that, like, we want to see as many people wearing those T-shirts as possible. So, you know, we've sold as many as, 6,000 in 3 minutes, you know. Wow. So, yeah. And it's things like that we're trying to get our generations to remember it, and for it to be kind of saturated all over the place so that nobody forgets it, just like we did with the Afghanistan war, just like we did with everything else. Like, the more, especially people and people who were born, if you were born in 3 years before 9/11, you're what, in your 20s now? Yeah. Yeah, so if you were born in 2000, you're damn near 22. You know, so it's like, so I'm trying to get people to remember it, and I want to make it more known to everybody in the world. So instead of profiting off it, our strategy was to push out a relatively unprofitable product and just make sure that, you know, if you had a $10 bill in your pocket, then you could get this tee shipped to your door, and you can buy them in bulk for families and stuff like that. So that was really our big thing. So we do that every year. So every year we have a huge list of people. We got over 1 million customers now. We got a huge list of people who come over and who basically just wait for our 9/11 tee. So the second September rolls around or August rolls around, people are just, okay, where's our 9/11 tee? So yeah, so it's really good, and we've seen them all over the place. You know, we've seen them in like massive football stadiums, and we're seeing them all over the news. It's really, really, really cool to see people bring so much attention to, you know, a T-shirt, and indirectly, I think that it's really cool because now you start seeing kids wearing them. You know, I'm seeing kids going into middle school and stuff like that with some of our T-shirts on, especially for like 9/11. So it's really humbling to see it kind of getting passed down through generations and stuff, and it makes me feel really good about it, honestly.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, because that's a large impact. 6,000 T-shirts in 3 minutes. That's a huge impact, and so that's a huge impact. That I thought about. Sometimes with Facebook is. They have to shut the page down or Instagram or something like that. I'm pretty sure your website got.
Oh yeah, it's happened a couple times. It's happened definitely a couple times.
Yeah, that is so awesome because we should never, ever forget about, like I said, 9/11. It's still, I don't care where it is on the news. I don't care if it's CNN or MSNBC or even on our local news station. Just whenever you see the family they're still marching. It's still kind of a little heartbreaking. It still brings tears to your eyes to see the family members still marching to the site, still going over there, still putting flowers down and what have you and things.
Right.
And so, like I say, individuals here, we're here in the United States, but a lot of times when people are fighting, in different countries and what have you for the United States, veterans, are fighting, and we sometimes we forget. we forget sometimes.
Right.
And it may take something like the 13 that perished, which we hate what happened and what have you. And, of course, there's a lot of finger pointing. And like I said, we're not here to get into politics, but that kind of refreshed everybody. Put your mind back on the veterans. Yeah. Put your mind back on the soldiers. It unites people. It does. It seems like it brought the United States back together. It brought us back together as a whole. It brought our Constitution. It made our flag stand even stronger and what have you. And so, that's the reason why, we should always, I don't want to say it like that, but I hate that it has to come to an issue like that for us to be able to put our focus on something that is so valuable because, we're in the bed, we're shopping, we're eating, we got our own family and children and individuals such as yourself. You've went over there, you fought, and other individuals are still, fighting in different areas and what have you, and we have the leisure where you all are on the front line, giving your lives up for things that we perhaps maybe see it as some sort of convenience or what have you. So, of course, I applaud you and your organization for helping others and also continue to keep the flames burning for veterans, keeping the flames burning for the families that have lost individuals, and keeping the flame burning for the children. The children are so impacted. People perhaps maybe not even know the effects of what the children go through versus what the wife or the husband goes through when they have lost a loved one. So that is so awesome. So this is the opportunity now, Korey, that you will have an opportunity to be able to connect with the audience, and the audience can be able to follow you by you sharing any website links. You can be able to share where they can be able to purchase any of your products and services, any books that you have published they would love to read. And so this is the opportunity that you can be able to share also your social media links with the audience so they can be able to connect with you further and get a bit even a general, more effective understanding of what you do and the purpose of your mission.
Okay. Yeah. Fortunately for me, I think it's relatively easy. I don't have any books or anything crazy. The biggest thing I stand for is our website. That is where everything comes from. So our website is tilvalhallaproject.com, and the word Til is TIL. And thankfully, it's such a unique name. You type that into TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and you'll see a ton of people, engaging with our stuff. And what the really cool part is, so if you want to support us, you go to tilvalhallaproject.com, you purchase a T-shirt, you purchase a mug, whatever you guys really, want. And then my favorite thing to do is have people go over to like TikTok, it's just Til Valhalla Project on TikTok. And when you go there, you get to see a lot of things like our plaque deliveries. You get to see distant videos of like us walking up to families' homes and placing memorial plaques on the doorsteps of these families of fallen heroes. And you get to see, sometimes the families will come out and we'll engage with them and they'll invite us inside, and you'll get to see me travel all the way to, I'm in Florida, so you'll see me travel all the way to Rhode Island to go surprise a family with a plaque. if you want to support the mission, TilValhallaProject.com is a way to do it. If you want to see what the mission does and what we're about, head over to our social media, especially like TikTok, and just see the raw reactions of us anonymously delivering these memorials and just seeing everything that we're about, and a lot of pictures of the plaques that we've made.
Okay, great. So everyone, we have had a wonderful time with veteran Korey Shaffer on today. He has shared tons of information, and of course, this is a topic that can be shared with anybody. That's the thing about it. A lot of times we have coaching, and we have actors, actresses, and we have professionals, other business professionals here, but that's a one specific genre or category. But this here is something unique that we could share with the world, because everyone knows someone or has a family member that's in the military or is a veteran. And so this is something that is very, very important that we can be able to connect and resonate with. So thank you so much, Korey, for being our guest on today. And, of course, we continue to pray for your project and for your efforts for millions of people around the world as a long-term and a short-term, goal. And so, listeners, you already know where to go to. You can go to our Facebook page, and then there you will see who's going to be our next guest on the show. So thank you again, Korey.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Okay, great. Everyone have a great day.